The human toll of overseas drone strikes can be hard to grasp, hard to even imagine. A team from Pitch Interactive, a data visualization studio in Berkeley, California, have put together this infographic, creating a visual of drone strikes, deaths, and a timeline of related events in Pakistan since 2004. Now, in Pakistan alone, it's estimated that over 3,000 casualties have come at the hands of U.S. drone strikes, and only 1.5% of these deaths have been high-profile targets. The rest? Civilians, children, and alleged combatants. Joining us now is Wesley Grubbs, a data visualizer and one of the designers of the infographic. I want to just let this graphic play for a while. I know that from your website, you claim that this project aims to bring light on the topic of drones, not necessarily to speak for or against it, but to inform and to allow the public, essentially, to see for themselves whether they can or cannot support drone usage. So what's the story, behind this project further than that, Wesley? What was the aim here in terms of why you decided to compile this data and why visualize it?
Sure. Well, why visualize it? We'd visualize it because we're a data visualization studio, but the topic itself became very interesting to us because we're led to believe that these drone strikes that we're doing in Pakistan and elsewhere in the world have this sort of laser precision, and that we're only getting the bad guys and the imminent threats to Americans. And once we actually started researching this topic, we realized that's not quite the case. Yes, we are getting some bad guys. That's great. However, there's a huge collateral damage. There's a huge civilian and casualty rate. And this other group is what actually troubled us the most. Everyone's sort of asking, who is this other? And that's what we're asking too. Are they military or are they civilians? And the problem is the Obama administration calls any male able to fight male in Pakistan who's killed in a drone strike, they're automatically coined as a military combatant. So if a high-profile target, his house is hit and his neighbor's house is hit, his neighbor happens to be 3 or 4 males, those males are immediately coined as military combatants, and we found that very troubling.
By creating something so compelling, so visual, so almost easy to understand, was the aim in part to spark a conversation, almost to surprise people?
Of course. I won't hide that fact. We want to shock people in a way. And what we tried to do, though, with this was not just to shock people with the number of casualties, but to shock people with the amount of stuff that we really don't know. One thing about this data, this is not CIA data. Like you said, they're not disclosing their information. This is data collected from reporters on the ground and people actually conducting their research on the ground, getting as much information as they can, and then relaying that back. And so these are estimated numbers, actually. They're not exact figures. And what we're doing is we're taking the minimum possible numbers, the maximum, and we're getting sort of an average of those to give our estimates. Because there's a lot of unknowns here in the drone strikes just because that data is not available.